Good morning, everybody. Myself, Acharya Vishvendra, and today I'm going to discuss about why JEE and NEET are so hard to crack, and what are the statistics and what is so different about these exams. So let's begin. So the topic of discussion is why JEE and NEET are so hard to crack. Before moving on to this question, let's see some statistics of 2025. So as per NEET is concerned, about 22 lakh students appear for the exam. In JEE Main, about 15 lakh, and in JEE Advanced, about 1.8 lakh out of these 15 lakh students who appeared for JEE Main. Now let's see the seats allocation. So as per 2025 statistics, MBBS seats in government colleges are about 59,000. In JEE Main, that is through NIT plus government funded institutions, there are a total of about 35,000 seats, and in JEE Advanced there are about 10,000 seats in IITs. Now if we look for the percentage selection, in NEET government colleges, MBBS selection is 2.68%, in JEE Main 2.33%, and JEE Advanced 0.67%. So the percentage itself explains that how difficult it is to crack these exams. Now let's analyze the pattern of the exam. So in JEE or NEET or JEE Main or JEE Advanced, any exam is based on MCQ. One question is given and there are four options, and you have to answer one of the four options in a given time, which is 3 hours duration for each. So there are about there are 180 questions in NEET, 90 questions in JEE Main, and in JEE Advanced it varies from roughly from 50 to 60 questions depending on the year. So within that limited time you have to answer, you have to fill the OMR and prove your caliber by marking the right options. Now here is the key, that these questions are based on psychologically designed patterns. From psychologically designed patterns, I mean when you answer a particular question, there are certain psychological processes inside your mind brain system, and it is a testing of the fact that are you able to dominate those emotional you can say that emotional reactions, those emotional triggers, and are able to come to the right conclusion. So it's a testing of your emotional management system, a testing of your performance under pressure, or in a nutshell it is a testing of your mind brain system, that how much strong and complex is your mind brain system. Because the final product of going through these exams is to get selected in the best colleges of our country, and from there to fetch a nice job in one of the MNCs or in some medical sector, being a good doctor and earning good money. So it's just a gateway to a quality life, and that's why there is so much struggle, there is so much complexity in the exam pattern, so that only a few are able to decode the exam. So the first thing that we should understand is it's not about learning the subject, it's about a testing of your psychological, neurological processing capability and your ability to perform under high pressure conditions. The reason being that in these exams there are about 6,000 A4 size pages, which includes your notes, questions, DPPs, mock test, everything. And in the final exam, only 25 to 30 pages are being asked. That means only 0.5% retention rate is there. So it's like you prepare 200 pages for the exam, and out of those 200 pages, only one page will be asked in the exam, and nobody knows that which is that one page. So that's why you have to adopt a strategy to make sure that uh, you are able to retain that one page, because your success is about how close your preparation, how close is your retention capacity in exam when you actually appear for that exam. So retention factor is the main crucial factor which determines your ability to crack that exam, and that uh, ability has to be developed gradually by working silently with utmost concentration level, because without focus and concentration level you'll not be able to come to the conclusion, you'll not be able to solve the problems. So these exams are the analysis of the mind brain algorithms of a particular person. Now let's see what is a mind brain algorithm. Suppose this is a student. So if we analyze a student, he is having his brain and his mind, and they are interacting in a certain way. Suppose a student is studying. So when he is studying, he is actually transferring information from the books or from the teacher or from the source of information to his brain through the senses, and that information is making certain sort of neural patterns. Take example of yourself. When you start studying something, then you are actually transferring information from the book. So when you will transfer information from the book, your mind will start working, and it will try to find a pattern of the new information which can connect it to the already known information to you. That is how learning works. So ultimately, a pattern is being formed after uh, processing the information which you have just learned. So there is a formation of neural pattern, and that neural pattern gets transferred to the mind, firstly to the conscious mind, then to subconscious, and finally to the unconscious. Exam is about the retention process. When you appear for an exam, or when somebody asks you a question that what you studied, so the reverse process is there. Initially you'll fetch, brain will send instruction to the mind about the uh, pattern which is stored in your mind brain system some days ago in the past. Then there is retention from the unconscious mind to the subconscious mind, from subconscious to the conscious mind to the brain, and brain use that neural pattern to generate a certain output. So this explains that how what mechanism your mind brain system follows when you solve a particular problem. So the entire turning point here is this retention process. When somebody asks you a question, you follow a process, a pattern to answer. So that retention process is the crucial factor behind JEE and NEET. So here we can see that retention is the secret to decode competitive exams, maybe JEE, NEET, maybe UPSC, maybe any competitive exam. But the secret is the retention process. And those students who are clever, they just practice on the retention process, while a normal student just uh, follow the one step process of storing neural patterns in the mind, and they don't practice the retention process. That is why when they are asked a question, they become anxious, they become uncomfortable, they'll feel emotional distractions, but will not be able to come to the conclusion to decode the right neural pattern. So that is why retention is the main thing. Now here is a snapshot of how an average student and average plus student behave. So suppose average student when free is tension stress free, and he's behaving normally. But when you will ask him a question, he'll feel stress that will be reflected in his facial expression. So that explains that he's not comfortable with the retention process. Whereas average plus students remains the same, whether he is free or whether he is solving a problem. So there is no much effective change in his persona, in his face expression and all that. So we can say that the neural pattern to solve a problem is the key to success over here. Let's elaborate it with the help of an example. Suppose you are being given a question that mass is there, a force is applied at an angle of theta, coefficient of friction is mu. You have to find the minimum force by which you can move this block. So to find this, we just make the components of forces F cos theta here, N and F sin theta here, and friction here. So we can say that if we want to move the block, then F cos theta must be greater than friction, and friction here is mu n. So in the second line, F cos theta is greater than mu. N can be obtained from here, that N plus F sin theta is equal to mg. So N will be mg minus F sin theta. Taking the f term over here, we have f cos theta plus mu sin theta is greater than or equal to mg, mu mg. Taking this expression over there, we have f should be greater than or equal to mu mg by cos theta plus mu sin theta. So from here we analyze f minimum is mu mg by cos theta plus mu sin theta when theta is constant. But if theta is variable, then this expression has the maximum value root under 1 plus mu square. So minimum of the minimum force is mu mg by root 1 plus mu square when theta is a variable. So you must have seen that to get to step number 6, I have to follow 6 steps. And these 6 steps are developed gradually by working with utmost focus, utmost concentration, and movement from step 1 to step 6 is following a pattern. So if your pattern is good, you will be able to come from step 1 to step 6 and will be able to mark the answer in your OMR. But if you are not able to retain the pattern, then you will be trapped somehow in between step 1 and step 6. So that explains the entire process, that the turning point is the retention factor in competitive exams. I hope it will work for you. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section of YouTube. Thank you and have a nice day.